Could I please ask you your name and your age?
I am Leonie and I am 21 years old.
Could I ask you what were you like when you were younger?
I guess I was just typical, normal. I'd like going out, hanging out with my mates, just all the normal stuff.
When did you first begin your battle with mental health?
I think I was probably a teenager. I was really outgoing when I was young. I would probably be the last person people would think would end up with a mental health problem. But then I got to high school and I guess that's where it all went wrong.
Was there any form of trigger?
Well, I guess I got picked on quite a bit when I went to high school. I was the stereotypical geeky girl who wore glasses and I didn't really have many friends or fit in. It was probably like year 9 when I started getting picked on. Mostly by the older boys, but I think in the end it probably just really took a knock on my confidence, and that's probably where everything really started.
So, you said about your high school experience. Was there nobody you felt you could reach out to, talk to, teachers, friends, anyone like that?
Not really. I know I mentioned about my friends, but I don't think we were really that close. In terms of, teachers, I was kind of scared of being called a snitch or something. It's one of those things, and I think at school, that's probably everyone's, worst nightmare, to be called a snitch or, to be the one that tells on someone. So, I didn't really feel like there was anyone, and, it was only bullying.
So, in terms of how the bullying affected you personally, would you mind going into that a little bit more?
Yeah. So as soon as it began, it really got to me. I started to almost question who I was and who I was becoming or what I was doing. And, I guess everyone just really struggles with how people see you. I wasn't really focusing on me being happy, but what people wanted me to be and how to look or how to act. I was just really worried about being judged. It got so bad that I was isolating myself and even my family to a certain degree. I got quite lonely in the end, and without sounding really dramatic, I think that's one of the worst things you can be in high school. No one really wants to be alone. It did lead me to go into quite a bad depression, which I'm working on now, but it still really affects me, if you get me.
Yeah. So if you don't mind me asking, what's been your lowest point, if you don't mind sharing that?
I was probably about 18. I had just finished school and I had the same pressures as everyone else, I was deciding what I wanted to do in my life, if and where I wanted to go to uni, and I guess it all just got a bit much, and I did try to take my own life, but thank God I'm here, because I didn't know what I would miss out on and all the great things that I've experienced, like going to uni and meeting all my new friends. It just wouldn't have happened. Yeah.
So what was the trigger change for you?
Well, I guess it was surviving, After surviving my suicide attempt, I realised that this had probably all gone a bit beyond what I could handle, and I think my family also realised what kind of awful place I was in. So together it was about contacting counsellors and going to therapy, and it was just about making sure people understood and people got it, and that I had those outlets. And I guess, I still speak to him. I still speak to the counsellors sometimes, but I'm in a much better place now.
And finally, if you have one piece of advice to those who are going through a similar situation as to what you went through? What would you say now, looking back?
Oh, goodness. Probably I would start with, just be you. It's not about what others want you to be or what others think of you. It's about expressing yourself and doing what you want. Just don't let anything hold you down, and, don't let everything take over or get too bad. There's always help out there for things like depression or anxiety or any sort of mental health. And I think there's just always a light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how dark it is. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Leonie.
Thanks.